Brittany box. Who wanted the baddest? Let's see.
Oh, we boxing, yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weeping and blocking, defeat ain't an option. Let them know, shoot a video, put it on BBO. Let them know, every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BBO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know, I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show, this is BBO.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy BBO Boxing, the Kappa regime of boxing, man, boxing talk, man. I'm here with my guy, the Puerto Rican Prince, man, aka the master debater who stole one from me. What's going on, man? How you feeling?
What's going on, BBO? It's your boy. What's going on with you, man?
Okay, salute to my brother Ace, man. We got my man T'Challa in the building, man, with the Celine on. Rich nigga.
Come on. See, that's why I was going to let me put a white tee on so y'all niggas don't be all jealous.
Rich nigga. Hey, but we all know today we got my man, Mr. International, Mr. All Access Senior Cobb. He's on the way. I think he said he had to grab his kids or something. But what's going on, man? How y'all feeling?
I'm good.
I'm well. I'm blessed.
Well, we know we just we had your boy Boots Ennis lying again, saying that Brian Norman sent him. Brian Norman was trying to duck him. Why is Boots Ennis always lying, Free? What's going on with that?
Well, I don't think it's Boots that's lying. Like I said on Friday when we did the show, I think it's more so Eddie Hearn playing games. Yeah, they sent Brian Norman an offer. Brian Norman sent them a counter offer, but I think Eddie Hearn just went and told Boots, "Oh nah, they turned it down." So Boots is getting the information from Eddie Hearn. So I think because Boots ain't making an offer, he's not sending an offer. That's Eddie Hearn that's sending that offer. Boots is just signing off on what's going to happen. So I think Eddie Hearn is playing games with these dudes. And like I said, Boots got to put his foot down. You signed with him because he said he was going to get you the big fight, and you wanted to be undisputed at 47. Where Brian Norman has one of those belts that you want. If you're not trying to get that belt, what are you at 47 for? You got to get that fight. That's a fight that we need to see you win. That's a good fight. Whether we believe you way more skilled than Brian Norman or not, that's a good fight. I know Brian Norman's going to come to fight. It's going to be an action-packed fight, and they got to make that fight. And so Eddie Hearn got to stop playing these games because he just wants that Hearn fight so he don't have to pay out that money for the fighters, and he can get back the profit. Because if you get Kern in there instead of Brian Norman, you don't have to pay Kern as much as you have to pay Brian Norman. Kern is not a champion. Kern don't offer Jerron Boots Ennis anything. He already beat him 12-0. Whether we felt like Jerron didn't look good in that fight or not, he beat that man 12-0. So you know that Brian Norman is a champion. You got to give him a respectable offer because he has something that Jerron Boots Ennis want. They got to make that fight.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what you're saying.
That's good cook, Free.
I just think that, you talking about Boots Ennis, this dude, man, is kind of showing you he 30-some fights in and he fought nobody. I don't think he want the big fights. He has no false standing on this. The one time we seen him in the title shot with Keith Van Heerden, he looked awful. He rushed it. Keith Van Heerden
They clashed heads, BBO. They clashed heads? What are you talking about?
Hold on, we got the man of the hour coming through.
Shout out to Bruce Gass. Shout out to Tim Lagan, Bentley. Shout out Ace. Y'all smashed the like one time for the one time.
Yo, we got our guest to honor in the house, my man, Mr. All Access Senior. What's going on, man?
What's going on, champ? How y'all feeling today?
What's up, my brother? Welcome.
What's going on? How y'all doing?
We know you
y'all
out
gotta forgive me. I'm still doing pickups and drop offs. You gotta be a daddy first, you know what I mean?
For sure.
Got you. But I gotta start off with like this, man. So we know you from West Baltimore, West Baltimore, man. What was it like growing up there in the late 80s, early 90s?
Start over, because you already messed up. We're in Baltimore. Start over. You gotta
get
Baltimore.
My bad. It ain't West Baltimore, my bad.
No, you said it right. That's all I'm saying.
You said Baltimore is Baltimore.
Baltimore? Oh, my bad. I forgot y'all DMV niggas, man, trying to correct somebody. I see how y'all do.
I ain't no DMV nigga neither. I'm from
Oh,
Baltimore.
you,
I keep telling you, DMV and Baltimore is different. Baltimore is
Baltimore,
Baltimore. DMV is
Baltimore,
DMV.
Baltimore is not a part of the DMV.
I keep
oh, it's
telling
not.
these people
Yes.
they don't want to listen to me. If you're not a part of the metropolitan subway system, you're not a part of the DMV. Baltimore is outside
Yeah,
of the
that's fair.
metropolitan subway system, so they're not part of the DMV.
They
Man,
not
I'm from
claiming them
Ohio, man.
niggas.
I don't know what y'all niggas talking
Now
about.
They
people
ain't
always try to
claiming that.
jump me.
They
Nah,
not
you from
claiming them
it say
people.
DC, Maryland, Virginia, but it's not speaking on Baltimore, Maryland. Baltimore is almost its own entity. You know what I mean? But
Like Philly.
it's referenced like you saying to where the metro go at. DC, Maryland, and Virginia. DC, PG County, all that parts of Maryland, the outskirts. And the outskirts of
So,
Virginia. Alexandria, shit like that.
and it wouldn't be Senior Cobb if he didn't correct me about something menial. You know, it wouldn't be my man
It's
Senior
important. It's
Cobb.
important when you tell my story.
So let me ask you this: so, what was it like, man, growing up in the late '80s, early '90s, man, in Baltimore, man? What was it like?
Oh man, that's what we ain't had no phones, no computers, no laptops. We had a bike, a dollar, you know what I mean, and a dream. We outside all day on the bikes cutting up, you know what I mean. Might get you a quart of water, bag of chips, and some penny candy. You good.
Yeah. So, did you grow up with your mother and father? Did you just grow up with your mother? Or did you grow up with
My
your
my
father? How
my
did you grow up?
my dad passed when I was 9. So you know what I
Okay.
mean. Up until that point, I was staying with both of them for real because
Hmm.
I was taking care of my dad in his last days, whatever. And then after that, I was living with my mom, I lived with my sister and my grandmother.
Yeah. So, when you speak about your mom and grandma, what would you say the biggest impact that you learned? What was the biggest impact they had in your life, man?
Just being there, man. Just being there, having somebody there. You know what I mean? A lot of times as kids, you look around and you got homeboys that's doing shit that you know that they wouldn't normally do, but when they look up, ain't nobody there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
And,
it's tough. And it's tough. It's tough for a kid. You know, I got a lot of homeboys that could have been in the league, NBA, NFL,
mhm.
baseball, but when they looked up in them stands, wasn't nobody there.
Yeah. And speaking of that, one of the things I always wanted for somebody that's in Baltimore, man, what was it like seeing your neighborhood on TV, man, on HBO back in the day?
Man, listen. Wherever you go in the world, man, as soon as they hear you talk, they know who you is. They know where you from. Is it really like that? Is that real life? Yeah, maybe worse.
Yeah. So when you say maybe worse, how were you able to kind of navigate that, man? Because it's not really easy, man. You know, it's drugs, crime, and you really hear a lot of stuff about the inner city, especially when you're talking about the West Side.
Chances and choices, man. You know what I mean? I ain't perfect. I ain't no saint. You know what I mean? I didn't had to pay the consequences for my actions. You know what I mean? But you learn. You just learn, and then sometimes you get put in situations and you realize I'm bigger than this. You know what I mean? I don't belong here. You know what I mean? And I ain't trying to come back here.
Yeah, and that being said, you know, especially me growing up in the projects, I will ask you this: did the peer pressure ever bother you at all?
It wasn't no peer pressure.
And when I say peer pressure, when I say that, I mean when you see people doing things or involved in things, it's like some guys always got a way of making you feel like a punk if you ain't
No,
doing the same thing.
it wasn't no peer pressure. Either we with it together or we ain't. It ain't point blank period. Ain't no peer pressure. Either
Hmm.
we rocking or we ain't. You know what I mean? If you ready to go do something, and I feel as though I need to be with you, we gonna go do it together. You know what I mean? If you ready to go do something, I'm like, that ain't my thing. I'll see you tomorrow. Point blank period. Ain't no love lost when you got real homeboys.
Yeah, and speaking of that, let me ask you this: one thing that people have known you for is to be a giver, man. Where did that big heart come from?
You always gotta be appreciative, man. You always gotta be appreciative and remember the times when you didn't have it, how you felt. You know what I mean? Wanting somebody to do something for you or be there to do something for you. So you know what I mean? Like I feed somebody, I put clothes on somebody. You know what I mean? I help somebody out. You know what I mean? I see people break down. I help them out too because I always think like, what if that's my wife, my mother, my girlfriend? You know what I mean? My grandmother. You know what I mean? I would want somebody to help them. You know what I mean? And I did it. I did some crazy things in my life. I got paid back some kind of way.
And speaking of that, you know, usually when you have a big heart, especially when you're around treacherous people, man, let me ask you this: how were you able to navigate when you got betrayed? We always talk about the good thing. What did you do when you got betrayed just being a nice guy?
Reevaluate. You know what I mean? Sit back and reevaluate. That's it. Just sit back and reevaluate. You know what I mean? And you learn from it. Be careful who you let in.
Bars.
You know what I mean? And like most important, I just dealt with a situation. You know what I mean? And I wasn't even mad that I was betrayed. I was mad that I ain't see that shit from the jump.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't let people in. I let them get close to me. You know what I mean? And I'm mad at myself. You know what I mean? It ain't his fault. I let him in. You see what I'm saying? I'm supposed to see that. I'm supposed to recognize that.
Yeah, no doubt. When you a given person like that, man, it only happens to people like us. You know what I'm saying? When you do that, it only happens to people like us, bro. So I can dig it.
Yeah, but then one thing I learned, like, you know what I mean? Like, my old head set me down. He's like, man, you beefing with him over $20? I'm like, no, I don't even care about the money. It's the principle. He said,
Right.
nah, man, just look at it like this. You just paid that man $20 to get out your life. That's the best $20 you ever spent. And once you start looking at it from a different angle, you're absolutely right.
That's a good point too.
And then you say that. Well, let me ask you this. So when you see somebody, and I just notice from people that are close to you, man, it's always seemed to be that even if they mess up a second, third time, you
Say,
still are willing
say
to
it one
give
more
another
time.
opportunity.
You say it one more time. Your gas station Wi-Fi cutting up.
Oh, here you go, man. No, I was saying that one thing that you got the reputation for somebody who, even if someone messes up, you still give them another chance. So when you give another chances, what did you learn how to forgive like that? Because that's not something that's usually taught when you're growing up in the street.
Say it one more time. Say it one more time. One matter of fact, hold on real quick. I
Okay.
love y'all. Have a good day. I see y'all in the morning. All right.
Hey, you gotta take care of them kids. You heard Obama. Let me see. He said, Melanie Quinn, sister, your president is making them get out and vote for
Yeah,
Kamala
my bad.
Harris.
My bad. I gotta be a dad. Love you, son. See you
Oh no,
tomorrow.
no,
All right.
all is well. All is well. All is well. So what I
All right.
was
Now, what
saying
was
is
your question? You got your phone. What was your question?
so my thing was speaking of that, what's something that you've done to where when people do mess up, how did you get to the place where you can forgive and bring them right back? Because that's something I heard that you do as
Well,
well.
I don't forgive shit.
Oh, here we go.
I'm petty. I don't forgive too much, but you know what I mean. Like, you know what I mean. When you go to school, everybody start off at an A. You know what
Hmm.
I mean. But once you drop that grade, ain't no coming back.
Oh,
Especially with me, you know what I mean? Because I'm a loyal type of person. You see what I'm saying? If we together, we together. You know what I mean? Ain't no one coming back to tell a story. We both going and we both coming back, or we both gonna be left there. Ain't no options. So if you cross me, you know what I mean? Ain't no coming back from that.
so let me ask you this, man. One place I always hear about when you talk about Baltimore, man, is Sterling's, man. Is it true that Sterling's has the best seafood in Baltimore? Or is that not true?
You talking about Sterling's? They've been closed down for about 7, 8 years.
I didn't know. I'm just reading
Yeah,
off my notes. I like how you did that.
nah, they've been closed. Man, it might have been closed longer than that for real. Um,
Hey, man.
Nah, I wouldn't. Even back in the day, I wouldn't have told nobody. You know what I mean? Go to Sterling. They had like good codfish cakes and little crab balls. But other than that, nah. We gonna get some real seafood. We gonna get some real seafood rocking with me, shot.
So I always gotta ask, just because D free from DC, man. Who got better seafood, Baltimore or DC?
Baltimore all day long, man.
So I ask you this, man. How did you end up liking boxing? How did boxing become something that you begin to follow and cover and even coach?
Whatever my son like, I love.
Okay. So your son was
Point
a
blank.
fighter first?
Like when we got into that gym, like he came home. He went on a field trip. They ain't let him in the ring. He came home at 4 years old. Said, "Dad, I want to be a boxer." You know what I mean? It took me like a year to get him in the gym. You know what I mean? They like a whole lot of things happened that was like God's will making things happen. Because at first he had to wait till 7, but it just so happened like my sister runs like the programs for the city, so she created a 5 to 7 program. Got him in the gym. You know what I mean? He was already coming through. He met Coach, and when Coach Calvin met him, he fell in love. Just being in there, picking up any role I can. You know what I mean? A situation happened with the podcast. Coach was like, you know what? I need you to handle it for me, and that's how I ended up with the podcast. But other than that, man, whatever my son like, I love that shit. You know what I mean? Anytime we can spend time together, and I could put him around some serious men that groom him to where though he feels as though he can't get the right answer from me, he can go to another man, and I feel comfortable with him going to that man for advice. I'm good.
Yeah. And speaking of that, I want to ask you, man, growing up, who was your favorite fighter?
Come on, man, Mike Tyson, man. Mike Tyson, man. Because my aunt used to throw whenever he fought. My aunt used to throw big parties, man. So we was always Mike Tyson, Mike Tyson, Mike Tyson.
Yeah, so we got a couple things. I'm gonna let my man Free. He got a couple questions. Go ahead, Free.
You said your son got you into boxing. Your son's still boxing right now?
Yeah, that was my son. I just dropped off. My son only 9 years old. That's my son right there.
Okay. Um, so I know you Tank Davis is one of y'all favorites, and I like Tank Davis as well. But who else is one of the young guns that you see coming up that a lot of people got to watch out for?
My son. My son, you know what I mean? You got my son, Graylin Cobbs Jr., you got Damari Filson, you got old Doug, he ready to turn pro. He having his first pro fight September 14th, the brawl at the hall. You know what I mean? If y'all ain't doing nothing, come through. We got we got Time Machine, Shake and Bake, these young kids, man, but they know how to hunt. They know how to pin them heads back and hunt early. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Shake and Bake, 3-time national champion. He 13, 14 years old, somewhere around there. You know what I mean? Time Machine, 2-time national champion. He 16 years old. You know what I mean? We got some dogs in that gym. So
Yeah,
I love all the
Yeah.
amateurs, man.
go ahead, Free.
No, I was saying, yeah, no, I agree with
Oh,
him.
okay.
Like, a lot of the young amateurs, there is a lot of young guns coming up, especially out of this region that a lot of people going to be hearing about coming up soon, because these guys, they hungry when it comes to this region. There's a lot of young guys that's hungry in the sport of boxing, and they don't really seem to get the exposure like that, because I don't know what it is, but for some reason, unless you got a big name behind you or you got a big gathering behind you, they don't get a lot of exposure out of this region. But there's a lot of young guns that can fight out here. A lot of them.
You know, a lot of them just fighting at home.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So they not getting the real exposure. They fighting at home. Like you might know them in D.C., but do you know them in Baltimore? You know them in Jersey? You know them in Philly? Are they traveling? Are they going to these other gyms, putting in rec? They go and fight on these other cars, putting rec in? You know what I mean? Coach Calvin, Coach Kenny, Coach Steve, Coach Day Day, Coach Marquise, they got them kids going up and down 9-5 every weekend. They going somewhere. If they ain't spawn, they on a card.
Mm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Look at Tank. He had over 200 some amateur fights. They was fighting 3 times in one weekend. You know what I mean? They
Mm.
might fight in the
I'm glad
morning.
you said that.
They might fight in the morning in Virginia, the evening in Philly, and then come home at night and fight in Baltimore all in one day.
Mm.
The amateur fights, bro. People really don't really know.
And speaking of that, we got this thing we call rapid fire. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you a couple names. You tell me who you would choose. So
No,
we're
I don't
gonna.
like talking to you. I like talking to Free. Free was doing good. I don't like talking to you. I'll talk to Free or prize fighter.
Hey, he's a sucker, man. It's hard to get. You see how stingy dude, man. He's a sucker, man.
Listen. D Free, you from DC?
Yeah, I'm from DC. Actually, the Russells is my family.
Okay. What part?
I'm from Northwest Georgia Ave, Georgia and Decatur.
Oh yeah, they got the Mambo wings right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, man.
Where you from, prize fighter? I
South
can't even hear
Jersey.
you.
Can
What
you
you
hear me
say?
now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? You hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm from Philly, but I'm in South Jersey though, so I
Oh,
ain't
all
too
right,
far. Yeah, I ain't
yeah,
far.
I'd rather talk to y'all two than BVO. Y'all can rap and do the rapid fire, man. Cause you know what I mean. Me and BVO gonna have to cross paths one day. You know what I mean. I don't want y'all to feel no type of way.
Hey, man.
That's why I was doing a proper introduction with you two guys. Cause you know what I mean. I'm gonna have to throw his ass up like I'm mad at the ceiling when I see him.
You know it's funny.
You know what I mean?
Listen,
He keep thinking that 6'7", 350 size 19 shoe gonna scare somebody. I'm gonna ball his ass up like a pretzel. You know what I mean?
you know, we say all the time, man. You know, I'm known for slapping boy band dudes, so I get what you said.
You see that the problem is you used to slapping people that ain't about slapping your ass back. You know what I mean? Like, nah, that ain't happening over here, BVO. You got 2 bad hips, and you think you gonna slap somebody? Oh, matter of fact, let me do rapid fire. I'm taking over for this shit. My show's starting to half an hour. I'm taking over. Hey, D-Free, let me ask you a question, D-Free. You from DC, D-Free, and this right here, this question is going to determine how our friendship goes from here on out.
Here we go.
D-Free, let me ask you a question. You and your cousin at the bar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here we go.
And y'all get into a little minor scuffle. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
At any point, are you leaving your cousin while
Hell
y'all in that
no.
mid
I leave
scuffle?
my cousin. I gotta leave my family. Hell no.
To go get a trash can?
Hell no.
Now, granted,
We going down swinging.
let's say you 6'7", 385 size 21 shoe. You leaving your cousin to go get a trash can? We got the rumble right there.
No, we going down swinging. If one get knocked out, we both get knocked out.
Yeah, I like D-Free already. That's why I can't talk to BVO. He left cuz to go with the trash can.
If that
No,
happens, the car
that's
ride
not how it
home,
happens.
we gonna go home. Both of us gonna have scars, and I'm just gonna be like, damn, it was 5 of them and 2 of us. You feel me? But
That's what I'm talking about.
Nowhere.
That's what I'm talking about, Cross. I'm
What
like,
happened
BBL,
was
why the hell is you leaving your cousin to go get a trash can? Now I gotta fight the niggas that we fighting, and I gotta fight my cousin on the ride home because I left his ass to go get a trash can.
You definitely gonna see me.
We gotta keep bringing up this story, man.
My cousin gonna turn around. Yo, where the fuck was you at when that nigga stole me? Yo, I was gonna get the trash can. You was gonna get the what?
I know that story. I haven't heard that story, BBL. You haven't shared that.
Hey, anyway.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he talking about take the weed and leave the money. Take the what and leave the what?
Hey, man. At the end of the day, man, me and my cousin, man, we were walking somewhere. We was about to get robbed. They hand my cousin up. They got it. These niggas came out of nowhere like Planet Apes. These brothers came out of nowhere. So I ran, and that's what he talking about.
Hold up, time out. Just imagine 6'7", 350 size 25 shoe running from niggas that just popped out of nowhere. That don't even add up.
With some big ass Timbs and baggy jeans.
Right, that shit don't even add up.
So you ran and your cousin just watched you run. He ain't take off or nothing. He just sat there and watched you run.
His cousin was
No,
back.
he ended up trying to run, but they had already got him. They had already got him. And when I seen it,
you said you gotta be a witness to what happened.
That's some sucker-ish, BBL, real rap.
Yeah,
I know that.
You said you had to be a witness to what happened.
You run on me, I'm coming back with a different kind.
Hey, I made a mistake.
You better not run on me.
I made a mistake, man.
That wasn't a mistake. I mean, listen, that wasn't a mistake. Like where you from, and Baltimore is a different place. See, Baltimore, we can't have that. Yeah. But you know what I mean? Where you from, it's okay to your fight or flight kicked in, and you just ain't had no fight that day. It was all flight. I understand.
Here we go.
So they know they used to losing out there anyway.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I get it.
And that's gonna be Senior's favorite story to tell for the rest of the time. But I'll say this, man. I'm
not gonna be able to let that go.
I'm glad that he said that because I've never heard that story. As long as I know you, I've never heard that one.
Hey, man, I was the gingerbread man that day. I got up out of there, but I was wrong for it. Hey, it is what it is. Hey, but before I continue with my man, C, let me hit our sponsor up one time before they cut us off, man. Shout out to the mighty JBT Network, man.
Yo, the JBT is back at you with another raffle. This time we'll be giving away an iPad, 10th generation iPad, on entertainment in the pocket of your hand. So you wonder, how do you get this iPad? It's only $10. We're giving away block specials for all our prizes this time around. $10 per entry. 3 entries for just $25 to get you in this time. Who don't love a block special? Not only are we giving away an iPad, but it's more gifts. Who don't love gifts? Gifts on top of gifts. Send that money, JBT Network 1, JBT Network 1, JBT Network 1. Now, what you say is the other prizes now? We linked up with Kenichi Bear. Noise canceling headphones from the young brother straight from Baltimore, Maryland. So, if you want an addition to your $10, you get a secondary prize if you don't win the first prize. And then, don't forget, we got more. Don't win the first prize, don't win the second prize. Who don't need an air fryer? We're giving away a Ninja air fryer. Get your food right, eat healthy, get right. All on the JBT. $10 once again. I get you all of this. Your chance is golden. You got to be in it to win it. If you ain't in it, you don't get no prize. $10, JBT Network 1. Good luck. It's on you.
Hey, but we had to hit that sponsor, but we hear singing tongue.
Real quick.
Right.
Shout out to that brother with them headphones. Y'all send me. I want to get some anyway, regardless if I win or lose. I want some of them headphones.
Make sure you use code TRP. Get 15% off.
Yeah. Hey, and the funny thing about it, I know Sing will bring up something goofy like that as we trying to have a real interview. But I ask you this, man.
I'm having a real interview. I answered all the questions. I was getting to know the panel. That's all. I wanted to get their opinions. You know what I mean? You shot your rapid fire. I wanted to shoot mine too.
There you go.
I need that. Good luck,
I see you
Thomas.
singing, just make sure you got your hands up. I think it's gonna be November 2nd, so have your hands up, man. Just make sure your hands is up, man. That's all I can say.
Have them up for what?
Bro, insulting the great BBO.
What you want me to have my hands up for?
Oh, there you go.
BBO, listen. You know what I just realized talking to my guy D Free and Prize Fighter?
Mm-hmm.
It's no point in me fighting you. It's like fighting a midget. I don't get no brownie points for that. You already ran on your cousin. So me and you fight it don't even do nothing. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, y'all whoop BBO ass. That nigga ran on his cousin. You don't get no credit for that. You know what I mean?
Hey, man.
You need to tell nobody else that story, gang.
I said that story so long ago. Singer keep bringing it up, man. You know,
because BBO, all jokes aside, like you don't understand the significance of that story. And D Free, I'm sure D Free and Prize Fighter can understand where I'm coming from. When you in the middle of a rumble, you talking about hold up, let me go get the trash can. You know what I mean? Cuz over there getting his ass whooped, you running looking for a trash can.
Boxers got scared. You scared of the one-on-one, BBO.
But I'll say this, man. I'll say this. That was a low moment. Your boy BBO shouldn't have did that. Salute to my man AB, man. I should have did that, man. But speaking of that, man, it's a lot of great fighters out there. We know you we know that you support Tank. But what do you think about the whole Tank and Shakur fight? What do you think? You think that fight ever happened?
Yeah, it's gonna happen. I believe it's gonna happen.
Yeah. And speaking of that, what do you think about Josh Norman and possibly Boots Ennis getting into the ring?
Who?
Brian Norman. My bad. I always keep saying
Brian
Josh
Norman.
Norman. Josh Norman. I always say Josh Norman. Brian
He says it every time.
Yeah, Brian Norman and Boots. I'd rather see Jaleel and Norman.
You think Jaleel's ready for that?
I don't think Norman ready for Jaleel.
I don't know. Pistol Pete.
You like T.O. There's nothing we could debate about boxing.
Anyway, let me say this. Shout out to my man. Shout out to my guy brother Bernard, man. But I didn't like the way that Jaleel looked against Pistol Pete at the end of that fight. Pistol Pete was coming on. He was starting to come on at the end of that fight. So he's supposed to get a guy like that out of there. I mean, that's just
you said he was supposed to get him out of there. Carter Ben didn't get him out of there.
When I say get it, I'm not so much knocking him out. I'm just talking about you can't really. I didn't expect him to like come on as strong as he did. That's what I'm saying.
What more did you want the man to do? He beat him.
He's a veteran fighter though. Like you got Pistol Pete is not no slouch. He's a veteran fighter though. I mean,
I get what you're saying, but he usually gets beat to death. But
No,
I'll
you
say
see, no,
this.
no, no. Let me tell you something. You can't say I get what you're saying, but because that mean when you put that but in there, that mean you don't get what I'm saying because you came with a rebuttal. You don't get what I'm saying.
Hey, but it's the thing when you talk about Tio, right? So I'm gonna ask you a question. I know nobody probably ever asked you, man. Will we ever see Tio and Tank fight?
I don't know. I don't know. That's one I don't know about.
Who you have winning that fight at 140? Because that's probably what it'd be. I don't think Tio. I don't know, he froze or something. This is
No,
crazy.
I ain't freeze. I just was trying. I was just trying
Yeah,
to
he
figure out
froze.
like you already know the answer. You gonna ask me, so I just was, you know what I mean? I was letting it go in one ear out the other.
Hey, man.
My guy D Free caught it. He been up there tripping the whole time. He caught it.
Hey, the thing I'll say is this, man. I'll say this, man. When we see the fight, I really think that'll be the first time we'll see Tank in a real 50-50 fight. I think he has a real opportunity to knock Tio out or lose on points. It's
This
gonna
what
be a
you
tough
so
fight.
so first of all, your
Hmm.
first battle is which Tio is coming to the ring that night.
That's a good point.
It's not. You got to get a focused To to the ring, and then even when he gets to the ring, you gotta factor in the bright lights, that big stage. You know what I mean? And then when Slim come in the ring and look at him from the opposite corner,
Yeah.
what's going to kick in?
Well, I mean, he's not as big. He's not as big as Josh Taylor
Now,
or.
let's
No,
remember, Tio got beat by Cam Boses.
no, you say he's not big as Josh Taylor. Do you realize Josh Taylor and Tio fought in a ballroom that only sit 5,000?
We didn't say who's the biggest star. We know who the
What you
biggest
talking
star is.
about? You talking about the size
We're talking
factor?
about the size of the fight,
Oh,
the
okay.
size of the fighter himself. Josh Taylor's a lot
It don't,
bigger. He like
it
5'10".
don't, it don't, it don't mean it. You can be bigger. I mean, but if you're not skilled enough, it doesn't matter how big you are. You're not skilled.
Height don't fight.
I mean, we say that, but we definitely seen when he fought Mario Barros. It was probably one of, to me that's my favorite Tank fight was when he fought Mario Barros. Mario Barros' size really did give him a little cause to pause. Even though he knocked him out, it was a really good fight. I just think really for a guy like Tank who has all that talent, he needs somebody else to kind of match him to see what he really is. I mean, it's just that simple. James Tony needed Roy. Roy needed James Tony. I mean, that's just how it goes. Great fighters need each other. You know, Duran needed Leonard. Leonard needed Hearns. I think he need a partner because from what I've seen, I think he really knocked Shakur out. Because one thing I've learned from watching Tank's fights, if you can't hurt him, it's over. It's over. The moment you can't hurt him, it's over. He walking you down, he getting you out of there. And there's no running when it comes to a guy like Tank because he showed he can cut the ring off. Because Frank Martin was doing in the middle of the ring looking good, and then he went to bed. He took a nap. So
You
I'm
think
saying,
Tio can hurt Tank?
say it again.
You think Tio can hurt Tank?
I think if he can hurt Richard Coleman, I know he can hurt Tank.
He ain't hurt nobody at 140.
I don't know. He hasn't fought anybody that small in a while either. You got to keep that in mind too.
That tells you something. He hasn't fought anybody as strong and he didn't hurt nobody. That tells you something.
I mean, like I said, we know how you're going with it. We know how you're going with it. But I asked you this real quick, since you gave me Kanye West on.
I'm just going off your word,
Scholar,
dog.
we not gonna jump BBO. He can hang himself.
Hey, but since my man Sin getting his Kanye West on, let me ask you this, man. What's next for Jared and Big Baby Miller? What's next for Big Baby Anderson? Better yet. What's next for Big Baby Anderson?
I think he got to go down that yellow brick road and go see the Wizard. He got to go see the Wizard. You know what I mean? Because you know what I mean. He already was playing around with this shit. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so to be humble like that, you know what I mean? He got to first of all he got to have that one-on-one in the mirror, and then he
Mm-hmm.
got to walk that yellow brick road and go see the Wizard and get that missing piece.
And when you say and this is a serious thing I want to ask you because I got a lot of people who watch and they be wanting to have real conversations. When you say look in the mirror, what do you mean by saying that?
When you had that meeting with yourself, is this really what I want to do? Is this what I
Yeah,
want the rest of my life to be? You know what I mean?
yeah,
Some people can bounce back from a loss. Some people can't.
yeah.
And
I think,
that meeting in the mirror is what determines it. You know what I mean?
Here is not going to be good for him because I don't think
and,
he's
go ahead.
mentally there, bro. I don't think that he's mentally there. That's just
And
me.
speaking of that, I want to ask you a question that people probably usually don't ask, man. How were you able to bounce back from probably your worst disappointment, man? How were you able to battle back?
Say it again.
How were you able to how were you able to overcome your worst disappointment in life? Like some that you had that you went through, you said, man, this is the worst thing I've ever been through. How were you able to get past that?
There's only one way. Keep it pushing. Ain't too much to it. Keep it pushing. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You been up, you been down. Just keep pushing. You know what I mean? This table's gonna turn.
Yeah. The reason I said it is because sometimes, man, you'll go through different things and you don't necessarily like see a way out. And sometimes, not everybody, but sometimes people think about quitting and giving up. I'm just trying to figure out, like, basically, we can give somebody some tools on something on how to get better because
No,
I
but
think, go ahead.
I ain't no quitter. I ain't gonna give up. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you can take that easy route and check yourself out. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? But that's some sucker ass shit. You know what I mean? You got to put your big boy pants on, take a deep breath, blow that shit out, and keep moving.
Yeah. Um,
Get out of here. Bentley tripping.
but I'll say this. I'll say this. The thing that's so crazy about life and life is when you don't have a father, especially, I'm not gonna discount my father. He had his issues, but I definitely feel like I was able to become a better father. When you talk about father, I could definitely tell how much you love your son. What kind of what kind of leads you into knowing that you're making the right decision, man, having your son? And do you ever kind of like, ever had those moments like, man, I'm not sure what to do at this moment?
No, as far as my son,
Yeah.
no, like long as I keep him in something constructive. He played basketball, he played football, and he boxed.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So long as I keep him in something constructive, so he don't have that idle mind or that idle time to where though
Hmm.
that's how I got into a lot of the shit I did from having idle time. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? I just try to keep his ass as busy as possible.
Yeah.
Son, bro. I kept my son busy. And he ain't have time to be getting in trouble.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
And when you say that, when you say keeping him busy, my thing was this: do you think having him later in life helped you help you be a better father than you probably would have been if you were 20 years younger or 15 years younger? What do you think?
No, because I think my kids are the most important thing that happened in my life. You know what I mean? Because before I
Yeah.
had kids, it didn't matter whether I made it home at the end of the night or not. You know what I mean? And when I had my daughter, I gotta be home at the end of the night. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
ain't nobody stopping me from getting home to them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I
For
think
sure.
I think the thing that I'll say, and I don't know if you guys agree with this, it's definitely difficult at times when you are trying to navigate being a good father. And sometimes it's kind of hard not to put like your work ahead of your children because you feel like, hey, if I don't put this amount of work in, we won't be able to do this or do some of the things they want to do. How do you kind of balance that as well? Because we all try to figure that out.
You gotta figure that shit out. However you do it. You know what I mean? However you figure it out. Make it work. Sometimes you might have to take a step back. You know what I mean? Just so you can push them forward. You know what I mean? It be
Yeah,
crazy sometimes, and you know what I mean. I be trying to explain to them and get them to understand. All my kids like the sacrifices that they don't see being made.
yeah. And when you say that sacrifice, I guess the thing I'm trying to figure out is, do you ever like have you ever had that moment of where you say you're talking to um your child's mother and you're trying to get them to understand that, hey, I might not be able to be here for this because I have to go do this? Is that a tough thing to do?
Nah, nah, cause you know what I mean. Like you gotta understand. Like I did construction for the first like 12 years of their life. You know what I mean. So like my schedule was always I'm gone. You know what I mean.
Hmm.
I gotta be there. I gotta be there at 6 o'clock in the morning. I might not get. You don't know. I don't know what time I'm getting off. So everything on her anyway. You see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
now that I changed, now that I'm not working in construction no more, like it freed up so I could take some of the responsibility off her as far as, you know what I mean, with the kids and all that. And you know what I mean? Like it can be a lot and overburn, but I missed it so much, you know what I mean? I just embrace it, you know what I mean? Because I didn't get these opportunities, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because I had
Yeah.
to go to work.
Saying that's a good point because I've been in the operating engineers for about 22 years now, and it's 5:42, and that's it. It's
Hmm.
you rarely have time to come home, do certain things, see your kids go to school on the first day. I ain't never seen one of my kids go to school on the first day.
Oh yeah, so you know local 37? You in local 37?
5:42
Oh,
operators.
yeah. So, all right. So you already know how it is. Like I was in the, that's the union I just came out of, local 37. That's the operators here. So you already know. You understand more than anybody. You know what I
Yep.
mean? You
Especially when
might
you're
go.
running that equipment, they looking at you, your skin color, that
Yeah,
matters. They
yeah,
looking at you, you look kind of young, you know what I'm saying? They want to
yeah.
know, can you take the machine? Then when I go make that whole dance, by the end of the day, they looking at you different.
Yeah,
But
they don't like when you can make that motherfucker sing and dance.
when you make it sing and dance, they look at you and they hate it, but they like, damn, that's a good ass operator. Ain't nothing they can do.
Right.
Cut them checks. Make sure my health benefits is paid up so my daughters can go to the dentist and doctor. And
Yep.
please put that money in my annuity.
Mm-hmm.
I need
Oh
that.
man.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing, man, is especially when you're a father, man, when you get some of that negative feedback. I'll say for me, I can't speak for nobody else. Sometimes it does wear on you because the ultimate goal is to be a great father. It is to do everything you can, and it's been times where I could say for me, where I felt like I was doing what I thought was the right thing, chasing the money, and I definitely got like a lot of smoke. And I feel like, to be honest, I feel like that child is going to whatever that mother says, the child's going to kind of co-sign, especially when they're really young. You know what I mean? So I don't know if any of you guys ever
But
experienced that, but that's a very
you got
that's a very hurtful thing, man. When you're trying to do what you know is right, and it's still like it's never enough. That's what I mean when I say that.
see the
Saying I
problem
know.
is you got to have them conversations. You got to have them conversations with your kids, so they can
Hmm.
understand and see. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? When my man know when you come home, show him how dirty your fucking hands is. You know what I mean? From busting your ass all day. You know what I mean? Let them see how your clothes look. You know what I mean? Understanding I'm making these sacrifices for us. You might not understand it now, but when you get older and have kids, it'll make sense. Because when you came in this world, you didn't come with no manual. So we
Right.
gotta figure this shit out. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I'm just making you aware of what's
Kid
going on
stuff
so you
dirty.
don't feel slighted.
My son used to ask me that, Dad, why you always coming dirty? I'm like, it's my uniform. I don't dress up in a suit and I make more money than them. That's another story.
Yeah, and I think the thing is, I know what you mean when you say your kids are older, but I'm talking about like when they're younger. I say under 5 or under 6. It's
I've
definitely
been talking to my kids since they was young, man.
yeah.
I talk to them, you know what I mean? Because they are my world. So I talks to them like this is what it is. Like this is what's going on since young. Like once they learn how to talk back, we talking.
Hmm. Yeah, and I'll ask you this.
My son right now, people don't believe he's 9 years old because he can sit with you and hold a grown man conversation. And they kind of
Yeah,
like people come to me all the time like, yo, that nigga's an old man. Like, how is he able to do that? Like, I be forgetting that he's just a kid. I be talking to him like he's one of my homeboys or something.
hmm
I have
yeah,
full custody of my son. I've had my son since he was 3 months old. He's 21 now, but I talk to my son. We have like by the time he was 2, he can hold a full conversation.
Yeah,
I talk to him though, like you know what I'm saying. We have our talks, and it was just certain things. My daughter, same thing. Now I got another daughter that's 5, and I talk to her and I explain to her what's happening and why I can't. You know what I mean? Do certain things because I have to dedicate my time to construction work. So when they get a little bit older, everything is all good. You feel me? Like benefits and the dental is my thing. That's my. It's not all about the money. Sometimes I like to make sure my kids can go to the damn
yeah,
doctor.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
I mean, and I definitely believe there's a place for that. I think the hard thing is what Cindy spoke on before is there is no manual, and I could tell you one of the things I've seen is there's nothing more hurtful, man, than when you're doing your best and someone comes back and say, "Hey, this isn't good enough." People could have a tough, talk the tough talk if they want about it, but that's very disheartening, man, when you really are doing your best, man. Because I'm from, my grandmother said this all the time. If you're doing your best, you can live with the results. So sometimes that's what I mean when I say like it can be tough because overall, black and brown fathers don't get enough credit for what we do. It's always this like mythical thing where we're not taking care of our children when we really do. So that's what I'm saying. I appreciate you coming on, saying you're talking about it. We do a lot of joking around, but I think all in all, man, you seem to be a really good brother, man, and salute on all your success, man. We seen you on Cigar Talks, and we appreciate you coming through, man. I know you got to get ready for the Rise podcast, but thank you again, man. I got to say this, man. You my brother, and I love you, man. So thank you for coming through, bro.
All right, well, there go my cash app right there. Show me how much you love me.
This
You know
guy
what I
right
mean?
here.
There go my cash app right there.
Get
You
this
know what I
nigga
mean?
out of
Show
here,
me how
man.
much you love me. You know what I mean? I'm from the
Get this
show
nigga
me
out of
shit.
here, free.
You gotta show me. You know what I mean? Talk is cheap. You know what I mean? No, but I appreciate y'all having me. Nice to meet you, D Free, Prize Fighter. You know what I mean? Y'all two guys gotta come over to the Rise. Leave his
Oh,
chump ass
I
where
be
he
over
at.
there. I be over there all the time. My name on the screen is boxing matchup with D Free. So I be over
Okay.
there all the time.
All right, leave BVO chump ass where he at. Y'all got open invitation. Come do anything.
For
You know what
sure.
I mean?
Appreciate you.
You know
Appreciate
what I
you.
mean? Hey, because one thing about it, D Free, they always like to say, Baltimore and DC got a beef. And I be telling them, like, nah, that's some suck ass niggas that really don't know nothing. You know what I mean? DC and
Yeah.
Baltimore get along well because every time I used to work in DC for like 3 years. You know what I mean? Every time they
I
speak
mean,
nothing but love.
like right now, I stay in Glen Burnie, so Baltimore is
Okay.
like 2 minutes away from me. So
Okay.
I go through Baltimore all the time. I go to DC all the time. I don't. Me personally, I'm the type of individual. I don't have no problem with nobody. I get along with everybody. If you got a problem, it's because either I got something that you want, or you trying to figure out why this dude's so happy all the time. I don't have problems with nobody.
Oh man, oh
keep
man.
keep in mind, D Free's a Puerto Rican, so just keep that in mind too.
You guys. That's even better. Hola, como estás, mi amigo? What's wrong with him, D Free?
Yo, don't let D
What's
Free
wrong
fool
with
you,
him?
man. Don't let D Free fool you, man. He a Puerto Rican, man.
Hey,
But let me read.
one thing I learned already.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just say me and D Free went out for drinks. I ain't gotta worry about him running on me. Have a good one.
Nah,
Appreciate
I'm gonna
y'all
be
for
right
having me
there.
on the show. I'm gonna
Yeah.
drop the mic like that.
Straight
Hey,
like that.
salute to my man Steve, but I'm gonna read this comment. My man AB said, "Facts, man. I had a chick trying to roast her because I do some blue collar work in front of my son, like it wasn't enough. So when I got home, I showed him my check stub to kill her fake argument. And you know what? I
Check
think
stubs,
this
them
is,
check stubs hit different, don't they? Don't they, AB?
and this is the thing I'll tell you, AB. I think it's people don't talk enough about this, but I mean we're not scared to talk about this at BBL boxing. It's just that us as men, man, we got to understand that if you are trying to do your best, there's always room to improve. Um, I got my struggles with different things that I'm working on. And I just say this, man, it's never easy to change. It's never easy. It's very easy to kind of keep doing what you're doing and never grow. Let me ask you this, Free, because one thing I noticed about my man Free, he's real good at making his goals.
Melanie
When you
Queen said.
go ahead,
Go ahead. Nah, nah, go ahead. I was just reading the comments. Go ahead, BBL.
um, the thing I was saying, this is the thing I was saying that Free, when you hear somebody say someone was like making someone feel bad about a blue collar job, what would you say to something like that?
If somebody was making somebody feeling bad about doing their job,
No, working a blue collar job, working a tough
or
job.
working a blue collar job, uh, you don't live that man's life.
BBL.
You're
What's the
not
blue
walking in
collar
that man.
job?
You, I mean,
Oh, go ahead.
regardless of
Hold on. Go
regardless
ahead,
of
Free.
what a person is doing, if you're not walking in that man's shoes, you don't know what trials and tribulation he has going on in his life. Just be happy that the man is working, because there's a lot of dudes that's not out here working. And those are the ones that you need to be worried about, not the ones that is working. The ones that are working is doing what they're supposed to do. I don't. That's why I say I don't have no problems with nobody. Whatever you got to do is what you got to do. I don't know what goes on in your home. I don't know what goes on behind closed doors. So I don't judge nobody what job they have. Now I might say, like, to my kids, if they going out and getting certain jobs, I'm like, hey, I know you better than that. You can do better than that. But that's because I know my kids. But when it comes to somebody else, I don't know what's going on with them. They doing what they can do. I'm happy that they got a job. Like my stepfather used to say it to me all the time. He was like, when I came home from the military, he was like, "Hey, you gotta do something." I said, "All right, I got a job doing working at FedEx." He was like, "No, you can do better than that." I'm like, "Hold up, I just got a job." He said, "I understand that, but I know you. You're better than that. You can't settle for that." And that's the one thing I took from my stepfather. Never settle for anything. Always strive for better. So you never settle for anything. And so when it comes to like prize fighter, he got a construction work. Me seeing him in the streets, if I didn't know prize fighter, I'm like, oh man, he just a regular old construction worker. But that I don't know what that man is doing. I don't know how much money he's making. So yeah, you can talk bad about somebody's job, but you don't know what's going on. You don't know what's behind that closed door when he go home. So
You know another
that
thing, BB?
job might just be something that he needs just to keep the lights on. So you never know what's going on for the next man. I don't talk bad about nobody that's working.
I mean, I
Collar
think
worker,
the
BBO,
thing
because
that
I just get dirty. That's the only difference. I don't dress up in a suit. I put on boots and jeans and a hard hat. I don't even wear that no more. But I put on boots and jeans and a hard hat, and I go to work and I walk through the fence like everybody else. You feel me? As far as a woman tries to come and say, "Oh, well, you a construction worker." Well, a construction worker got my car paid off, and a construction worker got me a 4-bedroom house that I live in by myself, and I don't need none of you mofos to help me with. You know what I'm saying? So laugh at me what you want. I be in Hawaii. I don't know where you been, Shorty. Did your passport got stamps? Because mine got hella stamps. So if they try to say, "Oh, you a worker," because I look at myself like a blue collar worker, I just get dirty because I make more than them. I engineer equipment. I make more than them. Most of them. Now you got the one that's making 200, 300,000 like that. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, them boys come out there with them 4, 5, 8-year degrees. I make more than them. I've been making that $30 an hour since for 20 years. So like I'm not, you know what I'm saying? So I consider myself a blue collar worker. I just get dirty. And I operate heavy equipment. So half the time I don't get dirty because I don't lift up shovels and jackhammers and stuff like that. I push buttons. You feel me? So yeah.
I think me, I'm a white collar worker, so I know what you mean. I dress up and I sit down. But I tell you this, one of the things I want to get
BBO.
into.
That could be blue collar too, BBO. That's blue collar, bro. What are you talking about?
No, blue collar is basically talking about physical
That's
work.
why I asked you what's your definition of a blue collar worker.
Well, my definition would be if you using your hands at some point when you're working, as far as like whether you gotta, if you like a police officer, if you're a construction worker, firefighter, you pretty much, that's kind of blue collar work because you're using your hands. Where me, I'll be honest, is considered white collar work because I'm typing on the computer.
Yeah.
But the thing I'll say is this. I think no matter what you do, if you are man enough or woman enough to make it happen for your family, that's the most important thing. I think we get caught up too much in these titles on what looks good because I've actually seen episodes and we all see the show where they pop the balloons and stuff. I've actually seen people make fun of people for saying, "Oh, the guy said he worked at DTLR," or one guy said he worked at Foreman Mills. And just to hear people laugh and kind of berate him and go at him, it's
That's
like, do you
lame.
want him to sell drugs and go to jail forever?
Right. Or be
Yeah.
up in your house or in your car, taking your cars. I treat them people with respect. And I love DTLR because I go in there and
Yeah.
after pay my ass off in there. If you know, you know. But that's another
And
story.
I'll just say this. The thing I think that people got to understand is the better you do in life, my aunt said this yet best. Dollars bring dignity. The better you do in life, the more gracious you should be.
Yeah.
Um,
Like I see a lot of young people. They make fun of security officers. They're like, oh, he a flashlight cop, and I laugh at it sometimes. But I know, I mean, I'm in the security field. I'm a director for human resources for my company.
mhm.
So there's officers that's making over $100,000. $100,000. All they do is sit behind a desk, or they sit in a car and just watch a parking lot or watch a building. They making
I'm
over a
about
hundred
to say,
thousand
Frank,
dollars. So
I know a couple of them making like 80.
yeah, so
Easy.
you laughing at that security officer, but that security officer probably making more money than you and your parents. So I
Yeah.
mean, You never know
Taking a
what's going
household
on
without
with the
two
next man.
incomes. That's where I set myself up at. Make sure that, because like I said, I made $30 an hour 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So that don't matter. I'm $25 north of that now. I can take care of all of my stuff by myself. I don't need a second income. I make two incomes by myself. I don't need the little shorties. They need me. I don't need them because I got assets. I come to the table with assets. Like I tell females all the time, you want to date me, but what do you, not saying what do you have, because I'll take a girl out the hood and she treat me right. I'm looking for peace. I'm not looking for a come up. But I'm just saying, at the same time, I can handle all this on my own. I feed myself. I do whatever I do whatever Prize needs to do to survive before you got here. You know what I'm saying? So I don't take that kind of criticism from females because you're not going to talk to me no kind of way because the same way the females running around here, like the way they are, BBO, to go back to your old question, I'm a big fish too. I'm a catch too. So let's not forget, we are catchers. Because if you turn us loose, divorces, break up with us, and we go out there in the world, you're going to see us turn it up a max.
Yeah.
Just when y'all females be trying to down talk us for having certain kind of jobs, down talk us because I can't be there on the first day of school. Well, hell, I done sent $700 in the last 2 days. Well, I mean, in order for me to do that, for her to look good on her first day of school, I have to do 40 hours a week. Period. You don't want to argue with me? Then fine. You figure out how to take her to dinner. My daughter's mother never had to worry about going how they gonna take my daughter to the dentist or how they gonna take her to the doctor because I handles all that. Me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it is what it is. So I like when females try to get aggressive with me because I humble them real quick because they ain't met a Capricorn type nigga like me.
I totally understand all that because when my oldest son was first born, I was a technician. My ex-wife, she never worked. The 15 years that we were together, she had a job. All of the jobs that she had combined total up probably a year worth of work. She never had to work because I was always at work. I would go to work at 6 o'clock in the morning. I would come home at 10 o'clock at night. I was a technician, but every 2 weeks I was bringing in a $4,000 check. I was making at the minimum was a $4,000 check every 2 weeks. So I didn't have to worry about is my kids going to be able to go to the dentist? Is my lights going to stay on? Is my roof going to stay on my head? Is my kids going to still have clothes on their back? I made sure that because I refused to be in the streets. I was one of those ones that I seen a lot of people come up the same time I came up, and a lot of those dudes they either in jail, they living on the streets, or they no longer here. So there's a few of them that has a family now, but a lot of them are no longer here, or they doing bad. The ones that are here, they doing bad. So I was like, nah, I'm not gonna be one of those individuals. I'm gonna make sure that my roof over my head is always there.
Senior got off about 10 minutes ago. We about to pass it over to the Rize in a minute. Whenever BBO give us the cue. But yeah, I feel you though, 100%, dog. Like
that's why when y'all was saying I never seen my kids go to school. I never seen my kids go to school. I never because I was at work before they even got up. My kids would sleep when I went to work. They would sleep by the time I got home from work.
Yeah, see now me.
The only time my kids ever sleep was on Sundays.
My job is Sundays. My career is a little like I know what time I'm getting off, and if they want me to stay later, then they gotta pay me $100 an hour. So when they ask me, do I want to work late? I never turn that down. But they don't want me to work late, so I'm normally home by 3:30 every day. You know what I'm saying? So but as far as the kids go, I've never been there on the kids' first day. I got 3 of them. I've never been to none of them. I missed one today, kindergarten again, because I chose to longevity. This, I want my check to be a certain kind of way, and I want my benefit and my health and welfare in a certain kind of way. You feel me?
And that was the thing that my kids told my mother. They was mad at their mother or whatever because they got in trouble, so they went to my mother's house for the weekend. Because my mother asked, can they come over? And I was like, yeah, they can go over there for the weekend. So my mother had my kids over there, and my mother called me. She was like, the kids are upset. I'm like, what's wrong? she was like they mad at their mother about something. They got in trouble about something, and they asked about me and my kids. The first thing my kids told my mother, well, Dad is always at work. That's all my kids knew, that I was at work. I was always at work from the time they was born until till now. I'm always at work, and that was because I had to make sure my kids had everything they needed. I would refuse for my kids be one of those kids that go to school and everybody's laughing and joking on them because they look bummy. My kids would never look bummy because my kids are a
The
reflection of
new
me.
generation be doing stuff to themselves on that, so I definitely not letting that happen. That
So,
ain't even a question.
yeah, and
I don't want
I
their
was
reflection
always
of me.
taught your kids are a reflection of you. So if my kids
Exactly.
look bad, I look bad, and I
Right.
refuse to let my kids look
And
bad.
even when I get dressed, if I tell my daughter, "Yo, we going to the mall, shorty," whatever, whatever, and she come out there, and I'm looking like I put myself together. She come out here with her little sweatpants. I turn her ass right back around and say, "No, go put some clothes on. We're going to the mall. This is what you want." You know what
Right?
I'm saying? So you, no, they're a reflection of you, bro, for
Yeah.
sure.
But yeah, we're gonna get up out of here and
Yeah,
get
yeah.
ready for the Rise podcast. Y'all make sure y'all go over there and tap in with the homie. He was just up here. He had a great cook, and we'll see y'all on tomorrow. And it's your boy D Free Prize Fighter, WBO Boxing. We'll be back tomorrow.